All right, guys. We told you Jacob Kilburn coming on the show, and my man, you are looking wonderful. How's everything going?
Good, man. We're staying safe, staying healthy.
Right. Right.
It's a warm day out here in Coconut Creek, Florida, and I'm just trying to stay, ready.
Wow. Okay. Staying ready.
Actually, you know what? The viewers deserve. Sorry.
Now,
Forgive me.
wait. We just got so many people watching the show now. We got to slow down.
Now, everybody, well, we just got a whole bunch of followers. They're downloading it as we speak.
I love this, my man. Well, for one, good to see you, brother. Hopefully everything's going well. Let's kind of, I guess, start there. That's where everyone is talking about. What do you think of all this coronavirus and shutting everything down? And what's just your synopsis on what's going on?
A lot of people panic and overreact, and in effort to get ahead of the crowd, because everybody else is overreacting, it causes you to react to their overreaction, and just the spiral of, something's going to spread. It's going to spread. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. You can avoid things. Obviously people have died, and that's sad. But it's crazy. It's not affecting like the training here at American Top Team. It's not affecting the training back home. But
so everyone there
from now, who knows?
Right. So everyone there at ATT, all the professional fighters, they're still in day out. They're still wrestling in camps, or how's that going?
Yeah, for the most part, it's shut down to the public, so there's no there's no evening jiu-jitsu classes. The gym's not open. There's no kids classes or whatever. But the pro schedule that's not listed online. You got to be in to have the schedule that still runs, because as of right now, a lot of people still have fights booked, and that's
right.
That's their job. So unless some kind of a government regulation thing where there's no sports allowed anymore, which Trump is a UFC fan, so I would imagine him and Dana would work together to where even if they have to do everything from the Apex, they would keep it going. So I'm blessed in that sense of like, it might affect the regional promotions, but it doesn't affect us. As of right now, anyway. So yeah, everything's full steam ahead. Still pushing.
Very cool, man. I'll go right back into that. I just do want to say, we haven't had you on since, your UFC debut. It was so cool, everything you did for us for the Fight Bananas show that week, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Thank you for everything you did for us for Fight Bananas that week, your debut, Washington, D.C., and everything. So kind of one thing you said really triggered something about Trump and about, UFC and being a fan. Pretty cool. Like all weekend long, almost everything was canceled. But I saw some awesome Kevin Lee and Charlos Oliveira fights, and saw Gilbert Burns in the co-main event. We saw a lot of American Top Team guys on the prelims winning. So do you think that is beneficial, their Dana White and Trump's relationship? Do you think that honestly has something to do with it, or maybe because in Brazil, or?
It's gonna affect something. You don't see like the top guys in the NFL or the NBA or anything speaking at rallies or going to the White House to hang out, but Dana does it all the time. He speaks at Trump rallies. He goes to the White House. They were friends before. They're still friends now. And particularly just kind of the way UFC is able to monopolize things. Like, they don't need anybody. They don't need a venue. Worst case, they can still run things out of the Apex. So I think it does help.
Right. Okay, so with that going on, are you, I don't want to say happy that you don't have something going on in these coming weeks, because it has been Phil Rowe, someone who fought an island fight, someone that we know, he was scheduled for Portland, then he was scheduled for the Apex, and then he's scheduled for something else. He's already been like in 3 different venue dates. Would that be hard to fighter on? Are you kind of happy that a lot of stuff is going on? You're not like the fighters are not sure what's happening week by week. Is there a card this weekend? We don't even know. There's so many things. We
Yeah.
saw they're looking for fighters. They're legitimately looking for, really top end regional guys to kind of jump on the show.
It's a really good opportunity for guys to be able to step up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, everything's up in the air. I know Phil's fight has been moved around a lot. I'm just, I'm not. Let's take that back. If they called right now, I guess I could say yes. You always have to say. I did it last time. I was not ready at all. But it's definitely got me like wanting to, let's just go ahead and start cutting anyways, because who knows?
Right.
We don't even know. I mean, is the London thing? I guess it's not happening, or they're moving it, but no matter what, everything's up in the air. The dates are going to move around. The locations are going to move around. The card are subject to change probably right up until the night of the fight, I would imagine.
Right.
So all of us, whether under contract or the regional guys, just need to stay ready for a phone call, because it means a lot to them to be flexible. That does put a lot of added stress on you.
Right.
Maybe to the guys that are under contract. But yeah, man, crazy stuff.
It's just a crazy time, being a fan or covering it or fighting in it as well. What do you think? It seems like you threw something at the beginning that maybe a lot of people are over panicking, and and I'm kind of in agreement a little bit on that part. Like, I just feel like, I heard, let's just count the UFC, and they're like, guys, I talked about how it was really cool that the show that's talking UFC. We'll talk about that in a second. American Top Team, Jacob Kilburn right there. I thought it's very vital that there is entertainment and fights on Saturdays. It gives people something to do, something to look for, something to strive for. It brings people together in a good way, or hopefully sometimes you want to be apart maybe at this time. But I just think it's important to kind of keep life going as simple. I remember when 9/11 happened, and, George W. Bush, he was throwing the baseball a couple of days later. It was just very vital to continue baseball, America's pastime. And the UFC is so mainstream, and you kind of say with Trump and, Dana White, that's just very vital that fights keep on continuing. Is that a good take? Or is that just a lousy take? Think on that.
I think so. I don't know what the numbers are compared as far as what they bring in. Obviously, front row seats and things like that make more money than a pay-per-view click. Nonetheless, there's far more people watching from their couches.
Oh yeah.
Than watching live. I mean, so the events will take a hit live, but in a case like, I mean, who knows? A week from now, all of us could be quarantined to our houses, not allowed to leave our cities. Like, who knows? In a time like that, that if I'm locked into my house, you better believe I'm gonna check into the fights. So
right.
I think it works. It's one of those things that we need to keep going, especially for fans. It would keep sanity. So
right.
It works for me.
And I think it's super important too, because we just saw basketball canceled and NHL canceled, MLS, XFL. If the UFC has 4 fight cards in a row here that they kind of had planned, like, this is a really cool time that maybe some people that are on the fence or maybe not fans, like, boom, they're just going to take over. Like,
absolutely.
Did you guys see Habib and Tony? Did you guys just see Walt back in action? Did you get, there's a lot of big stuff coming up. Okay, let's talk about Jacob Kilburn, American Top Team, Coconut Creek. You're there. I can see you looking very toned. I can see a little bit of good color. Yeah. So how's everything going? We haven't talked on air, since the kind of the move or, the change of the gym to kind of really, spark your UFC career. So how's everything going with you at American Top Team?
It's rough in here, man. Like, you are, in your hometown, you're somebody, and you come here, nobody knows your name. You're just one of the dudes in the dog pit, and back home, you are the big dog amongst, the puppies, trying to raise those guys to get to your level. But here, It's just the training is, world class. And I was explaining that to the guys back home, is that it's not necessarily the coaching or even like the fact that it's this world class facility, though the coaches are top notch and the facilities. It's a shark tank in there. There are so many guys that are so high level that have so much experience from all backgrounds all around the world, and everybody just, I mean, practice will be 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then nobody goes off the mats. They just go to the side, grab somebody, and they start drilling. And I mean, you see, some of those people don't leave. Like it's a different atmosphere there, and it's one of those things you either have to adapt and grow, or you will end up quitting the sport, because the level of this gym it's the deepest, most talent-rich pool of fighters on the planet. Like, I mean, you've got gyms out there that have got good, key fighters, Longo, and you've got the Dominic Cruz's gym, you got John Jones' gym, but as far as this, like, every gym has their 1 or 2 stars. There are PFL champions here, Bellator champions here, UFC champions here. Division I champion, like, it's any weight class, any promotion, champions. Crazy. Guys like Hanato Moicano, Mr. 44-second submission. That guy will roll a 6-minute round. He'll tap me every 44 seconds. Like, it's he's very good.
And it's funny you mentioned
like that.
Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned his name. A couple times that we're there, of course, just, with me being a fan of mixed martial arts for 20 years and now just, covering it and doing what I'm doing now, going to the gym a couple times over the last 2 years, you walk around the room, you're like, wow, there's Joanna and there's Georgie Masvidal. There's Jake Kilburn, there's King Mo. But then, like, with Moicano, he's been there every time, but, like, he's almost in a way overlooked because of you got, stars of Colby Covington when he was there, and all the female talent with Jillian Robertson, Kayla Harrison, K-Rock, Luis Pena's there. I just talked to him, Mike Beast Boy Davis. There's so much talent. Like, there seems like, to me, guys are overlooked there. Am I right on that?
Yeah, which is, I didn't know who he was when I first came here, and I found out fast.
Right.
and after training with all those guys and more, that guy's the best pound for pound fighter in the gym.
Who is?
Moicano.
Really?
And it's just a matter of time. There's nobody that beats him except him himself. Khabib, wow. Like, legitimately, that guy he's amazing. But there's so many people like that you don't know. What's it? Nathan or Natan, PFL champ, 145, 155. I can't pronounce his last name. I wasn't even familiar with who he was until after we rolled, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like that every day here, man. You just meet, there's new people all the time. So I know.
Looking it up.
It's Shoot or Schultz or something. It's either Nathan or Natan. But he's fantastic. He won the 45 and the 55, the PFL tournament. But I know, just training with these guys, there's so many people that are overlooked, but it's just because they're not the loudmouth type people.
Right.
But no matter who they match me with next, I just know they're not going to be, Moicano. They're not going to be Edson Barboza. They're not going to be Mike Davis. Like, just these guys in here who are the best strikers, best wrestlers, best jiu-jitsu people, as well as the best coaches who are all helping us. I'm not worried about anything. It's crazy.
Is that funny cliche? Is it iron sharpens iron? Is that really like a legitimate thing? Have you felt in the 8 weeks that you've been there and trained there, have you felt a total uptick in your game?
Yeah, like I'm things are clicking that didn't click before, and I'm just getting details that I didn't have. And the cool thing is you'll go talk to some coaches, and they're like, you need to go talk to so-and-so, and they'll point you to a veteran fighter. And there are coaches here that will admit, I can answer that, but you need to go talk to Barboza. He's better suited to answer that question.
Wow.
And that just sends you the veteran fighters who are like, I can answer your question, but he's actually fought Khabib. He's actually, whoever. and the camaraderie here is amazing. Everybody's always willing to ask questions. I mean, I'm in the UFC, but I'm the rookie here. I mean, you got champions, title contenders, guys in the top 10, and I'm asking. You better believe it. As soon as we roll, I'm like, hey, what did you do to me? How did you set that up? Because I thought I defended it right, but you
Right.
still. And they answer your questions, and everybody's here to help each other, which is cool. The one biggest thing that I've noticed here, as opposed to all of the gyms I've been at, is everywhere you go, if people avoid you or don't want to roll with you or don't want to do a round with you, sparring or whatever, it's because they think that you're better than them and they don't want to be challenged. But in an American Top Team, if you say, hey, you want to go? And the guy's like, no, not you, and he finds somebody else, it's because he doesn't think you're going to push him enough. It's,
Wow.
At other gyms, people avoid certain guys on the mats because they know they're the best in the room.
Right.
But
Right.
at ATT, everybody is so dead set on getting better that they avoid the people they know they can beat, which is a culture shock for me. That's not the way
Right.
it is anywhere I've been. And I'm learning that. Like, you just embrace it. Seek out those people that you know you cannot hold a candle to, because when you fight somebody that's not as good as them, it's going to feel like a piece of cake. So
Right. Right.
I've just embraced the idea of, there are so many people here that are better than me. And if you're fighting the best in the world, you have to become the best in the world.
Very true.
And that's what I'm focused on doing. So, yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Guys, we're talking to Jacob Kilburn. Definitely check him out on Instagram at Jacob Kilburn UFC. That's a really cool last 3 letters to add there. So I'm on your Instagram page right now, and I could not lie to you about how much I've laughed checking out your Instagram page in the last week or so.
Yeah.
Everything with the coronavirus. So, with everything going on, and that's one reason I wanted to talk to you today, because I talk to you all the time off air, and I love talking to you. We always have so much fun. Can you talk about that? What you funny joke? You got some cool, funny things. What can we talk about to keep people's minds off of the coronavirus? And it seems like I see you in a picture with drinking a sanitizer bottle, the Germex. I see the old lady with the Mentos and the Dr. Pepper bottle. So you're definitely rolling out some great content. What have you been doing to try to keep your mind off of it? Are you almost kind of, just, laughing with it, rolling with the punches, literally and particularly?
Yeah, I mean, just continue with life, I guess. Find something that you like doing and do it. Like, if you're the guy that likes to work on his car, go work on your car. If you like to clean your house, well, it's a great time to do that. Clean your house. Me, I like to train, and I like to read the Bible. I like to just like study things and plan things out and write them down, and just find time to do that. Try to find comedic relief in all the craziness. Like, there's a difference between taking something. Okay, there's a sickness going around. Stay away from people that are coughing. Obviously, wash your hands. Don't hug people until this is all over, or whatever it is. But at the same time, don't want to ruin your life. Have fun. Yeah, in the midst of all this stuff going on, like the other day, my car got booted, and I just had to laugh about it. Like, whatever, man. It's just laughing is like healing. Like, literally, laughter. It's good,
Right.
happy energy. It promotes good hormones, no stress. That improves your immune system. Like, these are scientific. Just try not to freak out too much. And
I think that was the Patch Adams with Robin Williams. I think that was like the moral of the movie, right? Like, it was about laughing was saving sickness. So it's a lot of, to me, it's a lot of serious and like kind of dark times, and a lot of just sickly times. I'm with you. Like, that's why I want to put out 10 shows this week. If I can do anything to get people's minds off of in whatever show they're watching right now with the coronavirus and what they're going to do in closing this. Let's just talk about life, MMA, of course, that's what we're based on, but like anything to kind of keep people's, elevated.
Yeah,
and
we decided to watch The Walking Dead. Like, you know what? we'll prepare a little bit by rewatching the show, but it's a lot of seasons, so just watch and take notes and hope not. But yeah.
So funny. Okay. The last time, so I saw you at Island Fight 62, and it was over there in Pensacola, and we saw a lot of great fights. It was a really great amateur show, really great main event. But I saw you at a table, and you were sitting at the Mako Tech mouth guards table, and it
Yes.
kind of just got me into how important sponsors are for even the top of the top fighters. Literally, George Masvidal went to Australia, and a lot of it was, shaking hands with advertisers and sponsors and, making deals
Right.
and everything. And how important is it to people, the biggest name in the UFC, to, a UFC fighter and, of course, regional guy? Can you talk to us about sponsorships and how we can get, how sponsors that are maybe hearing this for their first time get a reach of you and get a hold of you and just keep it going?
So those are gigantic. That's what keeps us able to do what we're doing. Whether you're providing gear or finances, we provide you a service of good, positive community outreach and advertisement. So in the case of Mako Tech Mouth Guards, she, whatever I need, will take care of my mouth. She gives me gear, and I advertise and get all my friends. Like, I don't know how many, like 10 of my friends or whatever have bought, mouthpieces. You just spread the word. So
Right.
it's literally how we are able to do what we do in between fighting. And if you know anything about fighting, like, there's no taxes taken out of it. So we set that aside. You got to pay the management, you got to pay the coaches, and when it's all said and done, you don't walk away with that much unless you're Conor McGregor, or somebody like that. So if you're looking for somebody who is a positive voice in the community, that's going to offer some comedic relief, that's going to proudly support your brand in, again, a very positive way, on Facebook, on Instagram, on my website, on my T-shirt, on my banner, then you can shoot me a Facebook message, shoot me an Instagram message. You can email me at jacob.kilburn@gmail.com, or just contact somebody that's in my circle. Hit up Abraham Kawa. But there's all kinds of fighters out there that are willing to do that. And it's
Right.
when you compare the price of, like, Google ads, radio ads, banners, and stuff like that. It's much more personable to have a professional athlete promote your brand, your business, your product, whatever it is. Whether you've got gear, whether you run a mechanic shop, whether you have a restaurant and you want somebody to come host an after party there, or whatever it is. It is a positive thing that keeps the sport going. I mean, UFC pays for most of their shows with the Monster Energy logo that's right in the middle of that. I mean, that's how. And in turn, they get a service, and we pay it forward because their business grows as a result of advertising. So yeah.
And I'm so with you, man. Everything that we're doing, advertising to me is so important. We've had sponsors on our shows. We give all this content out for absolutely free. We don't charge people for the podcast or to watch it. And if it didn't work, if Michael Jordan didn't eat French fries 30 years ago, and Monster Energy drink you wanted to J-check, all bruised, all beaten up, still had the can in her hand. If it didn't work, they wouldn't have still do it. So to me, it's vital. I think it's really important. Everything good there?
Absolutely. It's no, I thought a fight was breaking out, but you'd have to. It's crazy, man. Staying with fighters, advertisement works, and
Right.
it's not expensive if you go about it the right way.
Right.
Good people, and just come to some terms. If you want to work with me or any fighters, lay out your terms of contractual agreement. How long are we doing this? What am I going to get? What are you going to get? What are we looking for from each other? And then let's communicate throughout this process. And you build friendships through it, and both people grow and benefit as a result of it. So,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
There you go. I got one last thing for you, and then I got. It's funny, like I put it up really quickly on our Instagram stories, and I think I put it up on Facebook. We had a couple people kind of write in a couple questions for you, so 3 questions, 3 total people. I think they're absolutely strangers. They're not like Devin Adams or anything like that. So I'm very happy with that. But the last thing I do want to talk to you about is there's someone that maybe that you would love to get into the octagon next with. someone that's a local guy to you, used to be local to you. They call him the Train. Not the best nickname out there in the world, but So you want to bring it up? Do you want to? Is there something you would like to say to him? Would you love a lovely debate inside the octagon, and then we'll fight afterwards? How would you like to do that?
Man, that's been the media started blowing that up a couple weeks ago, and that fight essentially it's been something that's been kind of building for a long time.
Right.
Just that Nate Landwehr and his team, maybe not Nate specifically. Nate's actually always kind of been nice to me, and he's been a respectful and professional. But the people around him have attacked me in more ways than one. Actually, in a manner we've had to get some stuff done legally and websites taken down, and have made it a point to attack me and my friends in my gym for a long time. And
right.
Now he's in the UFC, and if you just look at the stats like that, somebody threw it out there, and then somebody else shared it, and somebody else made a post, and it makes perfect sense. We're the same height, we're the same weight, we both lost our debuts, we have very similar styles, we are not fond of each other, nor are our friends, and our gyms have history. I fought one of their pros, one of their striking coaches, a couple years ago, and knocked him out. And that was kind of to hopefully shut down all the beef or whatever. And it didn't, and it's resurfaced. And the second that I lost my UFC debut, you better believe they were already behind their keyboards to just be unprofessional.
Sure.
And so I had 8 days to prepare. We almost made it to the third round. I defended 7 submissions and took 140 shots. My opponent had double the amount of fights that I've had. And Nate had 6 months to prepare for his fight. The first time he got touched, he went to sleep. I took 140 shots. He went to sleep on the first time. I defended 7 submissions. He didn't even defend one. Herbert let go of the choke because he didn't want to burn his arms out. But had Herbert decided to keep squeezing, it probably would have been a done deal.
Wow.
And again, I had 8 days to prepare, and Nate had 6 months. I almost made it to the third round, and he didn't make it to the third minute. So, it's been a little annoying. People have tried to compare our debuts, and they're not comparable at all. He had triple the amount of experience that his opponent does, professional fighting wise. My opponent had double the. It's just, if you want to compare all the stats, how the fight went, our opponents, all that. And Herbert's really good. He's a world jiu-jitsu champion, whatever. But again, Herbert knocked him out, so it's not like it was a submission. It's
sure.
Nonetheless, Nate is a great dude. He's very respectful. Has always been nice to me. But people, the internet has kind of made this. They've hyped it up, and that fight makes. The fans win. The UFC wins.
Right.
If they wanted to do it somewhere in the South within 2 or 3 hours of Tennessee, we would both have 500 people come watch. You got 1,000 tickets sold right then. That fight is huge. I know people from the Carolinas, from Arkansas, not just Tennessee, that would drive to watch that fight.
Right.
So if that's something they want to pursue, you don't tell the UFC how to do their job. They know how to make matches and all that kind of stuff, and that's definitely not what this is. I didn't start this, but yeah, I know you've heard about it, and the fight makes a lot of sense. So
right.
I would do that fight with no training camp. Yeah.
Wow. Tickets would be sold. Eyes would be on it. That would be very, very exciting as a fight fan to watch that fight, watch you and Nate tangle up. Also, with kind of the last thing before we get into these last questions was I loved how you said, somewhere in that. I think that would be great for a UFC somewhere in Arkansas, a Mississippi, Gatlinburg, somewhere like that, because I love all these ESPN shows, plus shows that they're doing. They're really kind of popping up, and right. North Virginia, they wouldn't do that. It used to just be Vegas or Madison Square Garden. So I would love that they would kind of find these nooks. They've done Atlanta, but somewhere in there, like Mississippi, Charlotte, let's kind of get a little spot in there. That would be great for you guys. So that would be cool. Okay. So Jacob, these are 3 questions. Hey,
Okay.
that could be 1 second or they could be 10 hours. We'll take it from there. For first of all, they asked, how did you feel to make your dream a reality when you debuted in the UFC?
It was cool. My dream is just simply to make the name of Jesus famous, not me. So when I was a little kid, that was my dream. So I guess on some level, it's really cool to say that I did it. But several years ago, that had shut down my. I just knew it would happen eventually if I kept winning fights and had the right people around me. And the goal was to get there so I could have a platform where media members would want to talk to me, where someone's going to put a microphone in my face, someone's going to email me and ask for an article or whatever, and then I can be encouraging to people and let them know, in times like this with this coronavirus, whatever, that there is hope, and it's not found in Lysol. It's found in Jesus. But as far as all the earthly goals and stuff it was really cool. It feels good to know that you worked hard for something, and a lot of people doubted you, and they told you, it's not realistic. You should probably, just be a plumber or whatever. And you said, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy.
Right.
It's going to offer me a really good platform to talk about what I want to talk about. And, despite the haters and the people that, told you it wasn't realistic, it feels good to kind of be vindicated a little bit. So, and being as selfless as possible, it's really cool to say that you did it. I could die tomorrow. I could, if I broke my back and I couldn't fight anymore and I had to just whatever. It's okay. I did everything I've set out to do as far as goals done. But now the goal is to keep going, become world champion, fight in multiple weight classes, get as famous as possible so that I can redirect all that fame away from me to the way, the truth, of life. So, I'm just going to keep working hard and doing it and hopefully keep smashing goals.
Loving it. Second question is, I assume this is kind of coming from the UFC Brazil thing. I said, would you ever fight in an empty arena like they did in Brazil?
Yeah. I've fought. It seems like now, as far as this virus is going around, that seems to be the option. At least
Right.
things clear up. So if the next 6 months, the next year, this is going. Who knows how long it's going to take for a vaccine, and Americans are retarded. So who knows what could happen? You might have to just accept that reality. But nonetheless, I fought in the Contender Series, so I didn't like it, but as far as the quiet crowd, but I've come to terms with the fact that you have to be okay with doing that again. And before I got the short notice call, the plan was to fight Contender this summer, so I was already preparing for it. So maybe that's fitting. Maybe that's what's supposed to happen, is I'm supposed to fight in a quiet arena. I don't know. It doesn't change anything for me. It's less pressure, honestly. There's
Really?
no crowd. You don't have to face the booze on the way out or any of that. You just go do it. Unless, of course, people feed off of the fake energy and whatever else and stuff. It would be sad to miss the opportunity to touch some people's lives face to face, get to encourage people, take pictures with fans, and all those face to face interactions. And who knows, just a few words I can share with somebody might change their whole life.
Right.
So that in that regard, it's sad. But as far as the fighting goes, I've told my friends and family this for a long time. Whether you're there or not doesn't change the outcome. I'm going to go try as hard as I can, whether you're cheering, whether there's people there or not. So in my mind, it's less pressure because I know I might not be able to say that I've got fans there, but I can 100% sure say there will be nobody there that's cheering against me. So it takes the pressure off.
Wow. Okay, there you go. And the last one, they ask, do you listen to non-Christian music?
I don't listen to a lot of music in general. Usually it's like podcasts or, Five Bananas, stuff like I don't know, like lately I've been steered more towards, it could be a sermon or a Christian podcast or something MMA related. I just like hearing people talk and thoughts and back and forth and conversation. I feel like my brain profits more from that than listening to the same chorus 3 times. And I don't know. But
I agree.
Yeah, I do. I don't listen to songs about, like snorting cocaine and stuff like that. But I like old 70s and 80s music. I like James Brown stuff like Earth, Wind and Fire. Those type of anything. I listen to a little bit of everything. And as far as like the most of the time I listen to music is when we're training or working out, and I can train to anything. So if I can dance to it, I can train to it. There's an old song like it's called "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," and it's like a 17-minute song about this shipwreck, and it's the worst song ever. It's boring and it makes me fall asleep. So yeah, I don't listen to like nursery rhymes or lullabies or whatever, but yeah, I listen to non-Christian music.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
iHeartRadio, they've been saying that they've been getting more minutes listening to podcasts than music. They were known as a iHeart, a lot of music, Taylor Swift, and whatever's music is out there. It's like that's what they were known for. Not anymore. They're all into podcast, and so it's really crazy. But
so with Five Bananas, then I'm just like always listening for my name.
Yeah.
And so if I watch an episode or two and my name doesn't come up, I'll get mad at you for a week or something. But no, I'm just kidding.
That's what
I think podcasts where it's at. They're much more interesting, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Totally agree. Well, your name usually does come up a lot here on the podcast, Jacob. You know how much we really do love and respect everything you do. And, man, just keep everything going. Hopefully we're going to talk to you really soon. Hopefully there's something coming up in the summer. It's funny, talked to Jillian, and she's like, yeah, she's so excited, her fight's coming up, and she signed it, and she told me the date. It's June 20th. Like, we're that far out of fights happening so far away. So hopefully, you never know, you might get something soon, but it could be International Fight Week, it could be August.
That July time frame would be cool. That would give me plenty of time to get my sponsor situation. If you're listening now and you want a positive advertisement on your guy, and have my training camp kind of completely going and set up by that time. But if someone wanted to call and say, hey, you got 3 weeks, whatever, then yeah, I think I'd be ready to take a phone call. So
very cool. Well,
I've done crazier things.
8 days. I don't remember how you found out, but that was fun. That was good times.
Somebody called me or something.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Jacob Kilburn, man, appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much. And always to Filio, my brother. Filio.
It's Phileo.
Phileo. Man, you gotta get me back.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Filio.
One moment. I need to give some shout outs to Makotech Mouth Guards for taking care of me, for taking care of my team. To Robin Hood Massage Therapy. If you're in the Gulf Breeze area, you need to check them out. Ansteel Nutrition, go to ansteelnutrition.com, and you can get your electrolytes, your joint relief, your protein, your pre-workout, your post-workout, anything that you may need. And also stop by the new nutrition store there. And you're in the Pensacola Gulf Breeze area. Also, I'm not sure how far apart they are, but I've got people in that area that take care of me for my massage therapy and my nutrition. And if you stop in and tell them that I sent you, maybe you'll get a 5% discount or something, or who knows. Also to Freedom Building Group and to Wofford's Nursery here in Clarksville, and to Now You See TV. It's a media ministry. If you're into like crazy type podcasts like that where religious Christianity and conspiracy theories kind of cross over, Now You See TV is where you need to go to check all that stuff out. So
there you go.
Yeah. Anyways, those are my plugs. Good people that are behind me. So I'd like to be a positive advertisement voice for them. And thanks to Fight Bananas for always showing me love and for working with me. Even today, it was crazy. We bumped it back an hour, and then we bumped it back another half hour, and it just kind of worked. So it's always been just really good timing and chemistry with you guys. So
absolutely, brother. We're always going Ben for Jacob Kilburn, man. We'll talk to you real soon, all right?
All right, bro. Thank you, man.
All right, brother. Later.